Hey guys, welcome back to the Damer Boss YouTube channel, and today we're going to be doing a little review of the St. Petersburg Grand Prix. I apologize for the delay on this release. I'll explain more of it at the end of the video if you stick around and care. So first of all, of course, we have to talk about Joseph Newgarden's his Max Verstappen-like domination. He got pole position and then just led the whole entire race. I mean, there was a few points, of course. Pit strategy came into play, but for the most part, it was just, he led like every single lap. It was kind of, I mean, it was impressive to see someone dominate an IndyCar race like that, because that doesn't always happen, unless your name's Alex Palou, but other than that, it doesn't always happen like that. And even Alex Palou didn't dominate every single race. There was a few races that he dominated, but it was definitely a sight to see. But the race overall, the race wasn't the most exciting race we've seen, but I mean, it's kind of hard because I remember last year it was a pretty crazy race. There was a lot of drama, you know, the huge first lap incidents. There was a bunch of points last year, so it was kind of hard to compare. This year's race was always going to be not as good as last year's, but last year's was kind of an outlier of just being a good race. And then to round off the rest of the podium, it was Pato O'Ward and Scott McLaughlin, which Pato, of course, he's second. He always gets second. I really hope that Aaron McLaren and Pato managed to get a win. He's been so close to getting a win, and same with Aaron McLaren getting their first win. It's been, they've got so many seconds. I do believe Aaron McLaren will be able to get their first win this year. They've been so close so many times. You know, Pato is a really good driver. I mean, I think Pato's definitely going to be their driver to get their first win. So we'll see how it works. Same with Alexander Rossi. He could actually get their first win too. I don't think he's quite like, you know, Alexander Rossi prime, but he's still a pretty competitive driver, I mean. So next up we're going to cover is the Romain Grosjean crash situation. So, of course, and I'm going to say this I'm personally a pretty big Grosjean fan. I've always liked Grosjean. But I gotta address it. Like, so obviously he got the Andretti seat. The reason he kind of just lost his seat eventually is because he's a fast driver. Like, especially this weekend, you see he got into the Fast Six. He did an amazing job, but he doesn't know how to keep it on the track. He goes for these ballsy moves. And that's what happened this weekend. He went for a ballsy move, what just screwed his race. He got a penalty, and then I guess he had some gearbox-related issue, which I don't know if that was even true. It was just like, you know, kind of, you know, he was at the back, like, you know, P20. It's like, I personally probably just think he gave up at some point. I mean, maybe there was a genuine mechanical issue, but probably there was not really an ambition to fix it. Like, if they had the same mechanical issue and they was in, like, the top 10, they might have somehow managed it, but they were, like, 20, so they were like, okay, managing this issue is just not even worth it for us. And, you know, I just think he just needs to, you know, just don't do stupid moves that causes you problems. That's always just been a consistent thing with him, is he just does stupid things. Like, you know, I remember last year, Michael Andretti summed it up pretty well. Like, I can't remember the exact quote, but he was basically saying, you know, like, if Grosjean was in a car that was capable of getting 10th position, he would try and get 5th position. But trying to get 5th position, it would cause him to retire. It's like, just take the 10th. I mean, if you get 10th, you get 10th. 10th looks pretty good. But when you have a retirement because there was 25 laps to go and you dive bomb Will Power, not only are you retired from the race, Will Power also hates you now, and you just look like a clown. I mean, it's just like how it is. I think he just needs to take the, you know, I can't remember what position exactly he was in. He was in the top 15. So he was doing pretty good. He got, like, destroyed on the start. But other than that, he had a pretty good race. He should have just accepted it. Moving on from Grosjean, we're now going to translate into his former team, Andretti Autosport. Oh boy, what happened with Andretti Autosport today? I don't know if anyone has seen this. They just, like, they seem to, like, they qualified pretty well, but then it just seemed like Herder was doing pretty well, but then at a certain point, it just felt like, especially Herder, like, he was way up there, and then towards the end of the race, he just sort of swallowed. Everyone overtook him, and it was like kind of, it just seemed like everyone, like, you know, I think Ericsson retired. They had so many problems. I don't know what's going on with Michael, and his team's kind of falling apart. Well, maybe it was just a one-off. I'm not going to say his team's falling apart. It was clearly just a bad weekend for him, but, you know, maybe it's something he's probably not going to want to relive, but next weekend, I'm sure it'll be better with the $1 million challenge. What's going to be an interesting thing. Well, I'm probably going to make another video about that one. So as I kind of touched out at the beginning of the video, the race was kind of a boring race, primarily to do with fuel saving, which I think a few of the drivers suggested maybe they need to make the race a little longer, because it was a two stop, and if they extended it to be a free stop, it might have been a more competitive race. So I think maybe they could consider doing that, but I don't know what they're going to do about that. And then this is my final point I wanted to add for this race. It was kind of a smaller topic than not really notable, just something I just wanted to add. The current IndyCar chassis ran its 200th race. What's kind of notable but not notable, it's kind of, I think it's more of a testament to they need to get a new chassis, but I think the dream of getting a new chassis is definitely a long time away. Maybe I'm predicting probably. Why would they replace it like maybe 5 or 6 years? I don't see any news about them getting a new chassis anytime soon. And then you know how the hybrid system went. If they ever announce they're gonna get a new chassis, it's probably gonna get delayed 6 times. But any improvement, I think realistically, the new hybrid system's probably not going to come until next year at this point. I mean, I know they've said, like, after the 500, but my guess is next year, so maybe they'll add a bit more to it. I'm sure that'll be fun when they re-add the new hybrid system or re-energize some of the strategies. That's going to be about it for this video. Before I end this video, I wanted to give a little channel update. I haven't posted in about a year, so if you're a returning viewer, thanks for sticking by me. I haven't posted in a long time, probably 6 or 7 months. I am going to try and post a little more frequently about IndyCar. I'm not going to... The reason I kind of stopped posting is because I kind of burnt myself out, because I tried to stick to I was posting 3 or 4 videos a week. I was on a schedule of, okay, I need to post Friday practices, I need to post qualifying, I need to post a race review, and I was stressing myself out trying to get them out in time, and it just wasn't. I don't think them videos were the best quality, because they were just kind of thrown together because I was trying to get them out as fast as possible, and then I would have other obligations, because obviously I'm not making a single dime off YouTube, so it was kind of like I had other obligations outside of YouTube, so I was kind of like having to manage doing that while working, while trying to do stuff, so it just really wasn't working. Like sometimes I can't watch, sometimes there's Friday practice and I just can't watch Friday practice. I mean, I'm just busy, so I just have to watch the highlights sometimes, so it's not really possible for me to make videos all the time about like Friday. So I'm probably going to just focus on making race reviews and maybe qualifying reviews if it's a good qualifying, not all the time. So yeah, that's about it for the video, so bye guys.